Hi, I am Miss Baring. I am a digital art teacher here at CCA, and I'm going to try to help you to complete the 5.1, I'm sorry, 6.1.2 unit plan. It is a digital sketch of self-identity. So I'm going to share my screen and show you what that looks like. All right. So here is the opening page, and all I'm really going to talk about inside of this Edio page is all on page 2. So if you want to scroll to page 2 with me and take a look at this. So today's assignment is about your identity. So you're going to make artwork that's just all about you. So you're going to start with a self-portrait, and you want to have a self-portrait where you are taking up only a portion of the picture plane, and there's a nice plain background behind you because you're going to add images around you to the outside of your body. So for today, you're going to take a self-portrait. You could have somebody else take the picture for you if you want. Just make sure that's a plain background with a lot of real estate, so you have some canvas to work with to put some other images. And then after you do that, you're going to upload it to your computer, open it up in Krita, and add some drawings to it to reinforce your own self-identity. Now, in order to think about your own self-identity, you would want to answer some questions like, what are my favorite things? What are my favorite subjects? What are my favorite sports? What are my favorite books? Do you like to cook? What are your favorite activities to do? And that'll give you some idea of what you're going to add to your portraiture to make it more about you. Don't forget your culture, and don't forget your friends, whatever it is that's going to help you with your own identity. So I have Krita open up with a picture of me in it that I'm going to use for my self-portrait. So I'm going to kind of show you what I did to help you navigate what you're going to do. So let me I am clicked on this magnifying glass, and then I hold down the control key and I can make it smaller. That way I can see all the edges of my artwork, and then I can kind of like, I feel like I can work better on this. So this is a picture that actually my husband took of me. It is a terrible picture. It's not very flattering at all, but I'm just going to work with it because I'm going to doll it up and kind of make it look nicer. So two things that are more of a identifying label for me is that, like, I'm always about inclusivity in my classes as a teacher. I love to help my students, and I love to see everybody pass. And I like to think of my classes as kind of like families of artists that are working together to pass the class. So that being said, I chose to find these like cutout paper dolls that kind of show community and people holding each other up. So I'm going to use that as one of the images that I'm going to add to my self-portrait for my self-identity. And then the other thing that I thought would be funny to do was my father is Norwegian, so I got this Viking hat, and I think I'm going to try to draw something like this to put on my head in my self-portrait, because I still identify with the whole Norwegian ideas of like stoicism and hard work. Like I love hard work. I love supporting my students and my colleagues. And so I'm going to use those two images to put onto my identity. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my images are all somewhat similar in size, so that when I pull one thing into another, one image into the other, its size is really easily for me. So I'm going to go to image right here, and then I'm going to click on scale image to new size, and I'm going to change the resolution to 300. And you can see I have it set to inches. And so I only want my image to be 7 inches across. That's if I were to print it out, it would be about 5 by 7 at 300 pixels per inch. So I'm going to say okay to that. Then I'm going to go to these dolls, and I'm going to make sure that they're in about the same size. So I'm going to go to image, scale image to new size again. I'm going to change this to 300 and I'm going to make this at like 5 inches because that would be a roundabout good size to bring into the picture, the portrait. So I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to go to the last one, the Viking hat, and I'm going to go image and then scale image to new size. And again, I'm going to set it to 300 DPI. And right now it's at 35 inches. So I'm going to bring that down to 4 inches, something smaller than my main picture so that when it floats in, it's not off the canvas workspace. So I'm going to say OK to that. Now I'm going to go I'm going to create a line around the image that I can bring into the picture. And I was kind of working on it a little bit before I started this video. So I just made an outline around the Viking helmet and it lives on its own layer. I'm going to call this layer the hat or the outline. I'm sorry. So I have one layer that is the outline. And if I click on this eye, you can see the hat. And if I click on the background, then you can see the outline. And I'm going to show you how I made this outline when I do the dolls. But first, I'm going to select this in this outline. And how I'm going to do that, I'm going to go to select all, right? And then I'm going to copy it from my keyboard by hitting Control C. And then I'm going to go back to my picture and I'm going to hit, I'm going to open up a new layer and I'm going to paste it in there. So now I have I'm going to lock my background layer. I'm going to label this layer where the hat went on by double clicking it. I'm going to name it helmet. So how I did that was I just double clicked on the word and it highlighted and then I could change the words. So I could get this in place by clicking on this move tool over here in my toolbox. And then I can grab it and just kind of move it over. I need it to be a little bit smaller in order to get it on my head. So I'm going to use this size tool here, which automatically puts handles on it. And this is really helpful because you can turn it or you can resize it according to what you need. So yeah, I'm going to have it at that angle because my head is kind of tilted. And then I'm going to grab one of the corners to scale it. I'm going to hold down my shift key and it will scale it and keep the proportion. If I don't hold down my shift key, actually it works either way. Okay, so I'm going to make it just big enough so it fits kind of like on my head. Has to be a little bit smaller. So let me make it smaller and it's going to kind of fall off. It's going to kind of fall off, but I'm just going to leave it like that. So it's kind of like a little funny. You know what I can do is I can show you how I can make the canvas longer on that side. So I can add some of this curtain over here. What I need to do is go to image and resize canvas. And then I can add, I can say I want the canvas to be added over here, right? So this means that it's going to add over here. So I'm going to add another inch. So I'm going to make this 8 inches. And then it adds on a little piece of canvas over there. So now I can go to my background and I can select part of the background over here and I can copy it and then I can paste it. And I can use my move tool and then I can put it over here. And then I can have my whole helmet in there. And yeah, it looks like I'm kind of stepping out of a curtain, but that's okay. I kind of don't really mind that at all. So I'm going to leave that like that. I think it looks kind of funny that it's kind of like hanging over my head. That's all right. No problem. So I'm going to make it so that this curtain and the picture of me are on the same exact layer. So I'm going to right click on this layer to merge it with the layer below. All right, so now the whole background is on the same background and I'm ready to go. I got my helmet and I just now need to get my dolls. So down here is a little slider that scales the view. So I can pull that down. I have a little hand to move it over here. And now I'm going to show you how I'm going to trace these guys here. So this tool right here is called the Bezier curve tool. And this tool helps you to make curves. So if you drag it like this, you'll get this little handles that help you to make a curve. Now, I am not gonna try really hard to make this perfect. I'm kind of not really interested in making it perfect. If I don't pull out, then I can get just a curve. I'm sorry, like a 90-degree angle, but if I pull a little bit on the handles as I click and pull, I get the ability to change the curve of the line. But if I don't and I just click, then I can make just a straight angle. So that's how that works. So I'm just going to go around and kind of outline these dolls a little bit. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Oops, hold on a second. I think I just erased everything that I did. Actually, I'm going to lock this layer. I think I was on the wrong layer, so I'm going to add another layer. Always remember to add a layer. I'm going to call this the outline. So now I'm on the right layer, and the other thing you could do is you can also use the ellipse tool. Make sure that you are on normal, and I'm going to go on to a little pencil line. I'm going to click that guy there. Now I can, let me see, I'm going to use this tool here. I'm going to make it about the size of the heads. And then I'm going to edit, stroke the selection with a solid line of black at 4 pixel width. And I'm going to hit OK. Now I can use my move tool and move that into size, into place like this. All right. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger because it's a little small by clicking on the shape scale tool, and I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger like that so it fits on there. All right, now I'm gonna deselect it so it doesn't have the marching ants around it anymore. All right, so these guys seem to be on the same, um, whoops, they seem to be on the same layer. So I think I'm going to get rid of this guy by clicking on the brush. I'm going to pick an eraser and say erase, and then I'm going to get rid of this one there. All right, so I have the head here. Now I'm just going to draw a line for the body. I'm going to pick a thin pencil. And I'm just going to go click, click. I'm not really happy with that. I think I'm gonna choose a brush that is like a thin marker. I think I'm gonna choose this one. Sometimes when you mouse over them, you can see what the name of the brush is. I'm gonna make sure, I'm just gonna test out and see how the line is. That's a really wide, so I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna take it down to about 5. Maybe I'll leave it at 4. I think I'll leave it at 4. Yep. All right, now I'm just going to draw using this tool here, this line tool. So I'm just going to draw the shape of the outline of the body of one of them, just one of them, and then I'm going to use that and duplicate it so that I get the other bodies there. So actually, I want that to be just like a white with an outline. So I'm going to choose it with this tool here. Looks almost like a sparkler from a birthday party, right? So I'm going to say, I'm going to fill it with white. Okay. I got white. I got my paint bucket. So I'm going to fill it with white. Oops. You have to make sure that the white is in this is the foreground color, this is the background color. Make sure it's in the foreground color and click. There's the white. You can do it a couple of times just to make sure it gets everywhere inside of there. And then I'm going to stroke it with the solid line in black with the width of 4 pixels. All right. Now, I don't want the head to be separate from the body. So I'm going to use an eraser to get rid of the line that's in between the body and the head. So right here, I'm going to click on eraser. First, got to go to the paintbrush, click on the eraser tool, and I'm going to lower it to be, yeah, like that size. And then I'm just going to erase. I'm going to erase all of that. So I think I want to erase all the white. So I'm going to choose the white, and then I'm going to delete the white. So now I just have the black outline, and I can select it, and I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to duplicate this level by right clicking on the layer, duplicate the layer. I'm going to duplicate the layer one more time because we have 3 of these guys. Now I can use my move tool, this little plus sign here, and I can move one over to here. And I can grab the other one and move it over here and line it up as best as I can. And then I can erase these lines in between the hands so that they're all, looks like they're all one shape. So I'm going to go to my brush tool, the eraser, and I can come down here and I can just erase. Oops. You know what? First, I'm going to put them all on the same layer. So if I right click on the layer, I can say merge with the layer below. So 2 of them now are on the same layer, merge with the layer below. So now I have them all on the same layer. And now I can just erase that black line. And there's a little kind of weird line here from when I erased the white. So I'm just going to clean that up. And use my hand and move over to this one. And again, go back to the eraser. So I hope that you seeing how some of these tools work will help you when you go to make your images as well. So I can turn off my background and select all, and then bring it into my photograph here. Let me see. I don't think I must have not grabbed it. So I'm going to copy. I'm going to copy, and I should be able to just paste it right in there. It's pretty small. I'm going to go back and check and make sure the image size was correct, and it's not. I needed it to be at 300, so I'm going to change that. That's the reason why it came in so small. Okay, so I'm going to copy and then go to my photograph and paste, and then it shows up bigger. So um, those little guys, the ones that are too small, showed up on this layer that I'm turning off and on right now. So I can just highlight that layer and throw it out, and then those guys are completely gone. So I want to work with these guys here. So I'm going to put them down here, and then I think I'm gonna duplicate the layer, because I think I want to have more of them so that they move all the way across. Maybe I'll make it so that um, there are some coming in and out at the same time. I can zoom in to the spot where they meet and make sure the hands touch like that. Then I'm gonna erase that line that is between them. I'm gonna use a little bit of a bigger brush. It's good. I'm gonna merge them so I can erase them both at the same time. There we go. Makes it a little bit easier. All right, I'm gonna look at this so it all fits on the page. So I'm gonna grab my magnifying glass. I'm gonna hit Control to turn that plus sign to a minus sign, and then I'm gonna click it so it becomes smaller. So I have my picture and I have two images that kind of relates to some things that I'm interested in, my identity. I feel like I could probably put something else up here. And maybe I will, maybe later I'll decide to move the helmet over or something like that. See how that looks. Maybe I'll think of a better way of doing that. But for now, I hope that helps you a little bit with doing your finding identities, digital sketch of self-identity lesson for 6.1.2. But once again, if you have any problems with this, get in touch with your teacher, and good luck.